Assalamu alaikum. This is Tanvir.
And this is Amara.
We have started this video for your ease so that your Canada immigration process can be easier. So without any delay, let us start the video. I have completed my graduation in electrical and electronic engineering from Khulna University of Engineering and Technology. After that, I have completed my MBA from Dhaka University. Now, in this video, I will share the certain processes that we have gone through. So without any further ado, let us start. The first thing is sitting on for IELTS. I'll make a different video to let you know how to get an excellent score in IELTS. Now, after you sit for IELTS, then you have to check for the CRS scores. What is your CRS score? And also, you have to identify a best NOC for you. And NOC is the job code that is specific to your work experiences. Now, when I first applied, as I am an electrical engineer, the general tendency for me and several other engineers were to select a general NOC like 2213, that is electrical engineer. But the problem in those NOC is that in order to apply as an electrical engineer in Canada, you have to be licensed from that country. So it is regulated jobs. So we studied a lot. And then finally, I identified another NOC, that is 0714, Facility Operations and Maintenance Manager, which didn't need any type of certifications or regulations. So if you don't have any Canadian certifications, you better check your experiences and check all the NOCs and which NOCs closely match to your experiences. And if those matches to your experiences and they are not regulated, then it is better to go for those NOCs. Again, you have to Google or you have to search which NOCs were mostly nominated in the provinces that you're applying. For example, when we selected 0714 Facility Operations and Maintenance Manager, I also checked the previous draws in Saskatchewan Immigration Nomination Program, and I have checked that 0714 have gotten nomination every draw. So there is a high probability that I will get nominated for the same NOC next time because it is the job in demand. So the NOCs which gets nominations, that means in those provinces, that job has more demand. So you will get nomination, and after nomination, 600 points will be added to your score. So in a nutshell, you have to identify such an NOC that is not regulated if you do not have any certificates. However, later on, I applied in APEX, that is Association of Professional Engineers and Geoscientists, Saskatchewan. When I get the engineer in training license from there, then I can also apply as engineer in training. But most of the people in Bangladesh, India, and other countries cannot get certifications from their own country. So it is better to apply for non-regulated jobs. Otherwise, when you show your job references, you will not get nominated because your experiences will not be accepted unless a regulated certificate, unless you can show a regulated certificate. Now, the next step that I will discuss is the job reference letter. So once you have identified the correct NOC for you, now you will see the NOC has certain points, 10 or 15 points. So for example, if you are working at 4 companies, then you have to get job reference letters from all the 4 companies. Now the job reference letters cannot be the simple job reference letters, rather it should have the key points from the job description of those NOCs. So let me give an example. My work experience, my NOC was Facility Operations and Maintenance Manager. So I have read the job descriptions in detail. My first job was at Linde Bangladesh Limited. So I went to Linde and I asked their HR to write my job descriptions, my experience letters in such a way that it closely matches to the NOC's job description. Similarly, you have to do it for all the companies. Now, since I have worked in, so far I have worked in 4 companies and right now working in the 5th one. So I have to get certificates, get the experience letters from all these companies. So it is quite possible that some of the companies will not write the job descriptions as per your requirement. So there is another trick. You can write the job reference letters by yourself. Then you have to do a notary from government staff, from government deed, and you have to do the notarized copy of that document, but it will not be enough. What you have to do, what I did, let me give you an example. In Coca-Cola, I worked at Coca-Cola for around 3 years. So after completing my job at Coca-Cola, they gave a generalized work experience letter that I have worked in this position from that time to that time. So when I applied to Canada and I went to their HR said they cannot provide such a letter. So I studied a lot, and one of my elder brothers, his name is also Tanvir Chaudhary. He helped me quite a lot, and he has a significant he has done significant contribution to our peer attorney. So he suggested that we better give a mail to that HR, and that HR replies us that as per the company policy, they do not write any other job reference letter rather than the generalized ones. So as per his suggestion, it really worked. I called the HR of Coca-Cola and I asked that if I give such a mail, can you reply? Then he said yes. Then I asked for a mail of the job reference letter as per the NOC of Canada. Then he replied that as per the Coca-Cola company policy, they do not give specific experience letter rather than a generalized one. So I submitted the letter from Coca-Cola and also my own written job reference letter in government pads, and it was notarized by an authorized professional. So in this way, you have to give quite authentic job reference letters matching to the NOC. Well, it cannot be, each and every line cannot be copied. You just have to match in such a way that it doesn't look like a copy, but it quite closely matches, and it proves that you have done those works that are written in the NOC job descriptions. Now, next step is what more documents did we need in the whole process? So first of all, you need all the academic certificates. So if you do not have the certificates of your bachelor's or master's, you better get it before you apply, because after you apply, you get very less time. So you have to get the certificates. I remember during my wife's master's certificate was not ready. So we had to go through a lot of problems, and also we had to do the WES, Educational Credential Assessment, ECA. We did it from WES. I'll make a separate video if I get time how to do the ECA. Now I remember it was COVID-19 lockdown in Bangladesh. It was a peak period. People were dying. It was a very bad time. At that time, getting her ECA was very tough. So we had to talk to the university. It was in Rajshahi. We had to talk with the register. We have to pull a lot of strings to finally get that. She was quite angry that why I am pursuing like this. I can wait for a certain amount of time, but eventually the pressure, the hard works paid off later on, isn't it? Yeah. So the educational certificates are quite important. Then the ECA is very important. Without ECA, you cannot apply. Then you also will need the academic transcripts. You also will need the acceptance of resignation letters. You will definitely need the bank statements. Bank statements will show you the, you have to show the amount of minimum funds for 1, 2, or 3 person or 4 person in IRCC website, there are specifically written fund amounts. You have to show that you have the minimum amount of fund for at least 6 months. And for all the time, you have to keep the fund in your bank. So you can keep it in the bank, or you can do it in FDR or fixed deposits. But you cannot show goals or any land. Mind it, you have to keep all the birth certificates also. Then you have to have a valid passport and national ID cards and income tax certificates. Now, let me come with another very important point that we had to face a great problem with. See, if your birth certificate, passport, and national ID cards, all those should have the exact names. The spelling should be accurate. The father's name and mother's name should be accurate. What happened with my wife's, it was what? It was the passport. I think in the passport, there was a spelling mistake. So first of all, we have to change the passport. When we tried to change the passport, then we found out that her mother's name spelling was wrong. So again, we had to change the national ID. After changing the national ID, then we changed the passport. So it was a hectic process. So I would suggest you list down all the documents that I'm telling you. So let me repeat again. The documents are all the academic certificates, all the academic transcripts, all the appointment letters, acceptance of resignation letters, the bank statement of 6 months, then the passport, national ID card, the birth certificates. Next is the pay slip of the company. Then the salary certificates might also be needed. And one important thing is the income tax certificates. Even it is needed for the principal applicant. Now, even if the principal applicant is not providing income tax in certain amount of times, for example, I haven't paid an income tax from 2010 to 2013. So my return was not submitted. Not 2013, it was 2010 to 11. I didn't submit my return. When I applied in 2020, suddenly I have got to know that I have to show the income tax certificate. So again, I have to pull some strings and bring the 2010 and 2011 income tax certificates. So you better get ready with all the income tax certificates. So these are the documents so far I remember and I see. And you can keep some photo also, and also IELTS score. So these documents are quite important. Once your documents are ready, then you can proceed for the next steps. So what are the next steps? You have to proceed for IELTS exam. You have to identify your NOC, and you have to write your job description letters in one by one. And then after writing the job description letters, then the next steps. Check the spellings correctly. And when you get the provincial nomination, then your point will be added. Then you will be in the express entry pool and apply in the express entry. When you apply in the express entry, you have to pay a certain amount of dollars. Sometimes it is quite hectic to pay the amount of a bigger amount, because as per the government rules, certain up to certain amount is allowable to be transferred from the home country to Canada. So you better get prepared with that also. And after applying, you have 60 days or 30 days time based on different categories. So you have to submit all the documents within the time frame. So your documents must be ready. For example, you are given 60 days of time. What we faced, what problem we faced in the 60 days of time, we have seen one of our document had a spelling mistake. That was the passport. So within the 60 days, we have to make the passport. There was the COVID situation. It was unimaginable stress, but somehow with the help of Almighty Allah, we were able to do it within say 20 days. It was fast. We had to pull a lot of strings. We had to spend a lot of money. So better to keep all your documents ready. So when you are given a document request after you have applied, that is, you have received your AOR, after that your profile will show some document requirements. Your documents has to be ready. You have to upload all the documents, and gradually you are in the PR process. So that's it for today. Hopefully we'll come with some new videos. So up to then, bye bye. Thank you.